It's a pleasure to introduce Senator Raymond J. Lesniak.
Thank you for having me, and let's get at it.
Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about service. We just talked about 40 years of service in government.
Sure.
For the listeners, where's the 20th Legislative District?
That includes Union County. It's in Union County, Elizabeth, Hillside, Rahway. I represented different towns because we have redistricting every 10 years, but all in eastern Union County.
What does the demographics of that county comprise of?
Well, certainly a minority district, probably about 65% Hispanic, 20% African American, and the rest look like me.
Now, whenever I refer to Union County, I say it's Union County for a reason. A lot of building trades there, correct?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
And a lot of hard-working middle-class people, correct?
You bet. Absolutely. That's Union County. Well, the western end of Union County is it's suburban, a little bit upper income folks, but they're coming around to the Democratic Party side as well.
Well, everybody has to make a good decision at some point.
And they have, and indeed, we've had a unanimous Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders for about 20 years, and before that, the Republicans always had control. So it's an interesting change in the demographics of the county.
Senator, I hate the term dabble, and a lot of people refer to individuals who run for office as they wanted to dabble in politics. And I think you and I both know there's no such thing. You're either in or you're out. You were in for 40 years in the legislature. We may have listeners that aren't 40 years old.
Well, actually, what everyone should know is when I first ran for office, I was too young to even vote for myself. That's not true.
So
That's
that was
a joke.
I was going to say that was one less vote. So what drove you into service?
Interesting. I mean, I have a little checkered history. Dropped out of Rutgers twice. Got drafted into the Army. And then when I went back to Rutgers, got my head on straight, graduated from their honors economics program, and decided to go to law school. My mother accused me of going to law school to avoid getting a job. And she was right. So I graduated with honors from St. John's Law School, came out, and still didn't know what I wanted to do. My mom talked me into going to a Democratic Club meeting, and there was a dynamic speaker there, Adam Malamut, who was running for Congress. And I volunteered to work on his campaign, and I caught the bug. He never got elected, but I did.
Many, many times.
Many, many times.
So not only were you elected and not only did you serve in the state legislature, you served the party in other capacities. You were the New Jersey Democratic State Chairman.
That happened when the legislature, the Democrats in the legislature got wiped out when Governor Florio was in office because of a $2 billion tax increase, but most importantly, a tax on toilet paper, which was symbolic of and caused the anger that wiped out the Democrats in the legislature. And the governor turned to me to bring it back. And get him reelected. His popularity at the time was 18 points. That's pretty bad. He lost to Governor Whitman by 1%. So I brought him close. And indeed, my consultants were James Carville, Bill Clinton's consultant, and David Plouffe, President Obama's consultant. So I had a good team with me.
And what a lot of people may not realize is you went on to chair Clinton Gore and Gore Lieberman for New Jersey.
And indeed, if Al Gore had won, which he probably did, but if Al Gore had won against George Bush, I was going to be ambassador to France.
Not a bad place to be.
Parce que je parle français. I speak French with a New Jersey accent, though.
Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure how that works, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, it does not work well when you're in France.
Depends on if it's a North Jersey or South Jersey accent. And finally, the sacrifices of service. Let's talk about that briefly, and then we'll come back after the break. What did you give up for all these years to to serve the people.
Well, the interesting thing about that is, and my dad would tell me, if you love your work, you never have to work another day in your life. So I never saw it as a sacrifice because I loved every single day I was in office.